Hello everyone, welcome to episode 50 of the Scottish Silverback Podcast, and we've got IFBB Pro, Reece McDonald on the old podcast, and it's good to get another guy on just to kind of discuss things. And you had an excellent season last year, and it was good to kind of get you on and kind of just to talk about that and what your plans are this year and whatnot. So I'm sure most of the people who watch us know who you are, but just in case people don't, if you could let us know how long you've been competing, obviously who you are, background, etc. And
yeah, so I started competing when I was 19. I'm 31 now, getting on. So first started off in IBFA. It was just a local show, the Mr. Northumberland, and that was basically like, it was more of a like just test the waters sort of. I just wanted to do a show and like just to tick it off the bucket list. And end up winning, and then you know what it's like. From there, just I got the bug, and that was it. I had so junior years. I think I done 2014, 2015. I think I had 16 out and 17. Ended up winning quite a lot of local shows, and then the PC of Britain was like the top of where I got. As a junior, and then after that I took 3 years out, I think it was, but in that time I opened up my gym, so I just had while I was doing that, obviously like the transition from a junior to a mister was I needed more size, so 3 years put more size, focus on business and stuff like that. Come back to Two Bros as a heavyweight, won the regional, won the overall, which was like, I didn't know if Two Bros were going to like us or like my look or whatever, so I was happy with that. Done the pro qualifier that year. Bearing in mind in my head, like, I never thought I was ready to turn pro or anything like that. I was never chasing a pro card. I just done it for the love of it. Obviously I wanted to win shows, but it was never like kids nowadays are like, they do 2 shows and they want to go for a pro card. It was never like that. It was always just compete for the love of competing. I think you were in that show that year, but you were super heavy.
Yeah,
the Ben Reader.
Yeah, that was a terrible show for me.
I mean, I always looked up to you as like with your size and stuff like that, and then so as a heavyweight in the Ben Reader, I got second. A German lad, Chris Carl, beat us in the heavyweights, and then he got beaten overall by this big Viking-looking super heavyweight from somewhere. To be honest, I watched him at the weekend at FIBO. I think he got like fifth or sixth. And then the following year, so I prepped myself that year when I was a heavyweight, and when I prepped myself, I just totally like dig myself down to nothing. I probably could have been a super heavyweight that year, but too much T3 and cardio. So Tom Hames took us on just to sort of hold us back, fill us up when I needed to during prep and stuff. And we ended up winning the super heavies. I was on with like Josh Law, Jamie Harrison, Ryan Mackins and Jim Giorgio, which like I never expected to win that at all. I was like, I was the shortest there. These were like, to me, like they're monsters. So I was happy to win that, and then ended up winning the pro qualifier 2 weeks later and beating Chris Carl, who beat us the year before in the overall. So that was quite an achievement.
Yeah, that show is like one of my favourite looks of yours. Just how kind of streamlined, and the combination of the size and condition that you had that year, I thought was fantastic. So
yeah, I came in very well that year. I just needed like Tom there to sort of hold us back. As I said the year before, I tried it myself, but still done all right. But the look wasn't what I wanted.
think we've all been guilty of that, where we've kind of, wanted to push, and the bigger you get, the less you can get away with that pushing. But you have to take steps back in order to hold the physique to fill out whatever it may be, because it's so easy for a super to just fade and fade within days.
Yeah.
So that's why having someone like Tom and other good coaches that kind of have a keen eye for bigger guys, just kind of monitoring that fullness is definitely gone a long way.
Yeah, no. And then a year after that, first pro season. So Alicante, the Emperor, got ninth for my first show, which I was happy with. As long as I placed that year, I was happy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was happy with the Emperor, and then Portugal 6th, which was my best placing. I was really happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Beat obviously the lineups as well had Olympians in everything. Bonac, Nathan, Crizo was in, Emro, Barus.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some good names in there.
Aye.
And then, so I got 6th in Portugal, and then I went to Chicago 2 weeks after that, and managed to get 10th. But again, in that one there was quite a lot of like names in there. So first year was just really trying to get my name out there, get seen. I think you've got to sort of pay your dues, so to speak, the first year or two of being a pro.
Yeah.
So
yeah, obviously, I think the one important thing for, especially in the small circuit that is open bodybuilding, it's kind of essential you kind of get your face in front of as many promoters, judges, cover as many countries as you possibly can, and obviously the States, competing in the States must have been an experience. I've done it, but obviously not at your level, but and also the Arnold Classic Amateur, there was hardly anyone in the crowd, so wasn't even much of an atmosphere in that, but I wasn't competing in front of an American crowd, because I imagine they're mad for it, you know what I mean?
Oh no, so to be honest, the first sort of like the flight to the States, that was hectic. So basically we flew from, it was me and my girlfriend flew from Newcastle to Heathrow. The Newcastle Heathrow flight got delayed, so we got the Heathrow, that flight got cancelled to Chicago. You imagine it's like peak week, you're like stressing. So we're already late. I'd ate all my meals, I had nothing to eat. Obviously I'm not just going to go and eat anything from Costa or something, so it was just, I was doing no carbs on the flight just to minimise any water retention and stuff. And then we landed in Chicago. My case was missing. Obviously, it had all my stuff in for that peak week, like me T3 stuff like that. But luckily there was a couple of people. Mad, I'm not sure. Mad and Slee Raw on Instagram. Mad was in the hotel I was in, so she managed to spare some bits. But I didn't get my case for like 2 days. So that was just obviously like just pure stress straight away. And then eventually the case come, got what I needed. But to be fair, I was just sitting in the room the whole time. My lass was going out shopping and I was just sitting in the apartment carving up. So it was chilled, but because of everything that happened, it was just a big stress. Yeah. And at that point, I was sort of like ready to finish prep as well. Mm-hmm. But show day was good. The crowd was quite enthusiastic. Obviously, there was just like me and my lass there, so there wasn't like a lot of people that knew me, but it was still like you still got a good response when you went on stage and stuff like that. A lot of the Americans in the area, when you were going like grocery shopping and stuff like that, were just like pulling you all the time. Oh, you're a big man and all this, like. So like they were a lot more acceptable to bodybuilders out there than they are in the UK. They're a bit more enthusiastic about it. So, but yeah, it was a really good show. To be honest, I preferred Alicante or Portugal. Just, I think the production was a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But to be fair, like the Americans have got the Olympia, so that's going to be the sole focus of where everything's going to go into, isn't it? So, but I think Emilio puts a good show. Well, you've done the pro qualifier there, so you'll know. It was a good show there. And then Portugal, you've got the like revolving stage as you come out and the curtains open and you're just spinning in front of a bicep. It's just good. It's a good experience.
No, that's class, mate. What are the plans for this year? Or are you competing this year or what?
Yeah, so this year, I've just had, November, I had umbilical hernia surgery. So that was one of me. I didn't get pulled off the judges, to be fair, last year. But for me, I just wanted that done. It was an eyesore for me. So I got that done. Back to training. I'm on my health phase now. I've just pulled back as of last week. So I hit like 302. So that's the biggest I've ever been going into a prep. So I normally put on about £10 a stage weight a year normally. Most of it gained through rebound, and then I just tend to hold it for the rest of the year. But so I'm going to be going into prep in July for the British Grand Prix and possibly Prague and Romania.
Nice.
So I'm just.
Reece, can you turn your phone landscape for me if that's all right?
Yeah. No.
So it all fits.
I bet. Oh, I can see my head. I better.
No, you're now sideways. Is your lock
Right.
Go try change the lock thing on your phone.
2 seconds.
Right, good.
Good. Is that working or not?
Nope.
I tell you, I'm shit with tech.
You did warn me, to be fair, mate. You did warn me. No, let's talk about the umbilical surgery, because you said you got that done and you weren't marked down for it. So, but what do you think was the culprit for that? Do you think it was just rapid because you put on a mountain of muscle very, very quickly? Do you think that contributed to it?
Yeah. So I've actually had it for probably about 5 years, but it's just been very small. And then I think it's just been, to be honest, I think it's been my off seasons when I've been pushing food and then training bloated. So if I'm training, squatting heavy, and then it's just gradually pushing it out more and more. So it's just been a mixture of lifting heavy while pushing food, getting a bit distended, and then it's just pushed out more and more over time. But I paid privately to get it done, so it's been a good job. I didn't want to risk going NHS and bodging it.
Oh, no.
So it's should be all right.
You'd be waiting until 2030 to get it done anyway if you had went NHS. So. That's one of those ones. No, but I've seen it. It looks good. It does look good. So it's going to be exciting to see what you kind of do this year. I'm hoping to do the British Grand Prix as well. So it'd be good to kind of stand there. And that'd be class. So I'm excited for that. So
that'd be good.
What have you changed anything going into this off season, or are you doing kind of like the previous blueprint, or what is it? Any changes to the setup?
To be honest, I just do my own off season, and calorie wise stuff like that. It's no more than last year. I'm sitting just under like 6,000 calories. The only thing that's changed in the past 3 years is I left my job as a heating engineer to just run the gym full time and coach. So that's been a massive help to where I've grew rapidly in the past few years. Just more rest, less stress. But to be honest, my drug protocols, food, it doesn't really change through different each off season.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same, and I just keep growing.
If you've been competing for as long as you have, I think while the boys can kind of attest this, is like you know roughly the formula that works for you when it comes to PEDs and food setups and stuff like that. So we tend not to stray kind of too far. But as you know, there's a million and one ways you can do your off season. You can do your pre-contest, all sorts. So it's nice to kind of try things now and again. But especially with training, I've said this before on Instagram. I always end up coming back to the exact same stuff I was doing, like
basics.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I think that's what kind of a lot of people kind of don't kind of do is they just spend time honing themselves, and they'll end up, the same if you've been coaching and that. You see people coming to you and they're like doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this and do that. It's like they've never actually kind of stuck to just the one thing and kind of just
progressing one plan.
So it's one of those ones. So it's good to hear like a guy at your level, kind of what you're doing and whatnot. And again, I'm sure your stuff is basic, just like ours. But I'm sure you'll kind of chime in with a lot of people kind of reinventing the wheel and whatnot these days. But and obviously, when in a gym, I'm sure you see like plenty of like young boys come in and you're like what the fuck are you doing, mate? You know what I mean?
I try and tell them, but it's just
no, they don't listen. That's like
they know better.
Definitely. We've mentioned this a million times in the podcast before, so I don't want to bore the folk that have watched all of them. But it's one of those ones where like I feel in the UK. You mentioned America earlier there, but I feel in the UK, especially up in Scotland anyway, it's like the big guys know nothing. Like we're not the experts. Apparently, it's the guys who are 10 stone who, like talk the talk and whatnot. They're the ones that we everyone should be listening to. So it's strange. Like it's we've got obviously Greg and Jack in Aberdeen and up in the north as well. And it's like, why aren't people like going to the biggest cunts in the gym to grow? You know what I mean? So
I know. See, that's exactly what I asked. You what, sorry?
It's because they don't speak. It's like all the people who are kind of quiet in the gym just go in there.
We're all fucking weirdos.
Just go in there and do what you're meant to do. Fucking God forbid. Actually go in and actually lift weights and get big. No, you have to get the guys walking about the gym, speaking absolute drivel to everybody who's fucking 10 stone soaking wet. Fucking listen to him.
Yeah. So, not just for Reece. It's good to kind of know that you're cracking on. I'm excited to see it as all we all are. Greg, you want to fill us in what you've been doing, because obviously you weren't on the podcast last week. So what's been happening?
Fucking have to eat, mate. I don't know. My body kind of done the exact same as what it's done a few previous preps, where it's getting to like a level of lean and it's just flattening out at like a crazy rate, where the look is, it just looks worse and worse day after day, where it's not getting better and better. And it's almost like a refining stage of like I'm having to eat a lot like every third day to maintain a look, while trying to just literally skim off a little bit of fat here and there. So it's like I get lean mega quick, and then that stage of where to get like inside out peeled, my body just goes fucking rampant. Like where my rest days are like 600 grams of carbs, and it's just like that's me actually dropping weight like a kilo a day off that. And like on my higher days, I'm eating like 8,000 plus calories. And that's me like pretty peeled. It's like I just can't fucking hold my metabolism to keep a look. My legs are just flattening off like crazy. So we're just had to pull back. We'll pull out of obviously the first show of the season, just because the look is just not having a return. We're trying to figure out what weight I'm needing to kind of hover at and get leaner and leaner at that weight while trying to eat a little bit more. But I've also got that kind of adductor issue as well, where it's not bad, but with what happened to me in 23, like I'm not going on stage unless I'm 100%, because that really fucked me up. So even though it's like not bad, it's playing in my mind, and I need to just be 100% so I can actually be happy. Then trying to control my metabolism in the meantime and just get a look back as well. So
we've been going back and forth all week, and just kind of like, could it be this, could it be that, could it be this, could it be that, and it's one of those ones where it's just like, that's what you said before you came on to Reece, is that a super heavyweight or someone that big, it's fucking hard to diet someone like that. Not in the sense of getting peeled. That's relatively easy for all four of us. But it's the monitoring the fatigue and how quickly the body breaks down and all that sort of stuff. And I think you've kind of just shown. Obviously, I've seen you prep a million times over the years, and it's always the case where your body kind of runs away a wee bit. You have to kind of play catch up and pull it back. And like people think that's a good place to be. It's all 8,000 calories on a prep, but it's really fucking.
It's not fun, because you're literally almost going against the grain in what you are trying to essentially do in prep, and that, as much as like you could just follow what your coach is saying, in your head is like, this is not right. Like what I'm doing, I really should be doing at this point. I'm trying to fucking get leaner. I'm trying to eat less food. You're looking at people around you absolutely starving, and you're sitting there with like mounds of food, like pounding off-planned meals just to keep like a certain level of fullness. It's just, it's like a mental game. It's like, because you just don't think you should be doing that, and you hear fucking people like Samson who are eating like 3 eggs for breakfast. You're like, what the fuck is going on here?
I know. It doesn't make sense, but
he's eating 3 eggs for breakfast, but still full as fuck.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I watched his Olympia thing, and I'm pretty sure he carved up on 3 meals of 80 grams of cream of rice.
Mad.
There was just 3 meals of that, and I was bursting through. I was like, that's fucking way, that's mental.
Yeah. Reece, you spoke about how when you used to prep yourself, that you'd just put yourself in the bin. Like, obviously, we had a wee discussion there before Greg came on about that, but it's the, like we said, it's the combination of just kind of going too hard, and you know, that kind of mentality that a lot of bigger open bodybuilders have, is that just going far too hard when it comes to training and everything, and then kind of putting yourself in the bin. Like, what did you learn about your physique working with Tom, about having to keep yourself full and make sure that you didn't kind of go back into that place?
So first of all, like, the reason why I did that is because I'm very just like, I look at myself and my glutes will be shredded, and you'll just still be like, there's a little bit more to come off, a little bit more. So I was still feeding, but like, I'd be scared to feed. So I'd instead of doing like 1,500 gram of carb over like for 2 days, I'd be doing like, I'll just have 500. I'll just see what that looks like, and then I'll put on 2 pound. I'll shit myself. I'll put on 2 pound. It's like, so and then using too much T3, obviously you in your head you're thinking, right, I'm going to need more to get leaner and all this, where it doesn't work like that. So I learned obviously not to use too much thyroid medication and to feed more, basically. So Tom would top us up. He would even give us burgers some weeks, which I was like, I would shit myself to eat them. I'd be like, I can't be eating this on a prep, but it worked. It does the job. Especially as a pro as well, what I've noticed during my first season. So like, an amateur to a pro is like, I feel like as an amateur, you can get away with being a bit flatter as long as you've got the condition. Whereas a pro, you need to be bursting full. You can't have any sign of like stringiness or flat, or you just need to be bursting full. Obviously, you need the condition, so you've got to nail it. But that's where I think you'll do well, to be fair. And obviously, Greg, I've seen you in the past as well, like just miss out. But I feel like as a pro, you'll stand out because you're always bursting full. But on an amateur, they always want like that sucked in, like really. Do you know what I mean? It's
ultra fine look, the condition wise,
Yeah, so it's a totally different look. They want you to be freaky looking, basically.
Yeah, that's where you need the condition, because if you don't have that like almost sub-zero body fat, that load is just not going to go the way you need to go. Because if you need to be bursting full, like obviously that's going to well work in your favour if you're absolute skinless. If you've not got the fat off, that's when the watery look is definitely going to kind of come to play.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's like, as an amateur, I used to do well from the balance of my physique, where I think as a pro you need freaky body parts and bigger arms and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember Dexter Jackson, I don't know what he's talking about, but I don't know who he's talking about in particular, but he was just saying, like, if you're even like 5% flat, like, you're going to get absolutely blown away. Obviously, they got guys, like especially black guys, who can get away with being a little bit flat because they are just so naturally round. But yeah, if you don't hit the mark fullness wise, that's you're toast. And I mean, like, I feel I've always kind of struggled to be bursting full. I don't even think when I won my card I was bursting full. I was full for me, but I wouldn't say I was like bursting at the seams full. But it's one of those ones where, again, there is that newer competitors will know this, or will see this as well, as it is that fear of feeding. And ultimately, if your skin peeled and if you weigh 100 plus kilo on stage, like, it's fucking hard to spill, like really fucking hard to spill. So that's where that kind of fear of eating has to kind of be vanquished a wee bit. But like Greg said, you need to kind of have skinless look first before you go and put in fucking a million grams of carbs. I mean, so
the worst thing I've noticed is the bigger I've got, when you do get flat, the look is worse because obviously when you're like, say, 200 pounds and you're peeled, like there's not as much muscle deflated. So it's like it almost like sinks in a little bit and you can see the striations, you can see what details there. But the more muscle you carry, when that muscle like hangs off you, when that's flat, it's almost like the skin's folding on itself, like you've literally just popped a fucking balloon.
Mm-hmm.
That's like where I feel my physique is now. That's why like the look, you can't really see what is happening because like when I'm dropping down a certain little bit, it's so diminishing to my condition, the whole like physique look, everything is just kind of off. And this is where I've noticed like the bigger you get, it's so much fucking harder to land the look or just even get ready because you can't see an awful lot if you're running flat that quick. And that's what I'm pretty much experiencing right now through like certain body parts. I just can't seem to get the look.
Yeah, it's all about just trying to figure out getting the formula, but you know, it's just be it's hard when like the causality is you're just so fucking big, but then you know it's just like trying to maneuver around that. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it's I don't understand how like Samson or like how they got like Ronnie Coleman full back in the day and all that. You know what I mean? It's these guys even bigger than us, like way bigger than us, and it's just like how are they doing that? Or even like Jay Cutler and that, like it doesn't have to be them. It just seems like Juan Morel was always one for like obviously boasting about how much he had to eat to get full. I think Juan was doing a lot in the background he didn't tell people about, like 2 hours in the stairs or something like that. So that's that exactly. So that's maybe a different kind of example, but yeah, you've got guys who, I mean, you're doing fuck all cardio just now and having struggling to fill out and stuff. So
use fucking teeth.
You don't use thyroid out.
No.
So it's a weird game for us big gains.
I think the worst thing is like when you see people like Juan, you actually kept a relatively decent waistline, whereas people would have to do it. Like if I did like the amount of food I'm doing right now into show, I know I wouldn't look how I want to look on stage because your GI would be fucking bursting, your gut would be swelling out. You need to be like really pulled in, and that's what me and Callum wanted to almost refine my look last season, where we had to load like excessively heavy, and then like the day before the show, almost cut that in half. And like almost be totally spilled, and then kind of let that dry itself out and rinse it off. And then the morning of the show, you pretty much want to wake up bang on and just have like little feeds, just so you can, like hold your waistline in, because that's the biggest thing I find. Like as you get bigger, is like just the amount of food you need to eat going into the show, and it's just so hard to control your waist.
Yeah, definitely. Jack, you want to fill us in on where you are training wise and all that?
Did a fucking Bulgarian split squat for the first time in 7 months.
Oh, that's fucking progress, mate.
So I was shitting myself when Reece came on. So the last time I seen Reece, that same night, I went fuck my knee. So was that the you were guest posing with James and Gomez?
Right.
In where was it? It was the Ultraflex show.
Ultraflex, yeah, in Durham.
So I watched your first guest pose, the IBFA show. You got up on the table years ago, didn't you? I was at this show and I was literally do this. Yeah, I was like, this table's not going to hold out.
I got asked to do it last minute, right? And I didn't have like a routine set up or anything. And so I just went out and like, I didn't even know what the music was going to be. So I just started posing and I just felt so awkward. I was like, I need to do something to like sort of get people going here. So I seen the tables, and bear in mind they were like fucking B&M specials, like proper just rickety tables. And I thought, I'll be alright, I'll jump on. I jumped on. Graham Madison, one of the judges, like me cocks in his face, and I'm just like, and, no, it was good. It was
cool. That was the first time I'd seen you in like 2 years. So it was a big difference. But my week's been pretty boring, to be honest. But just bit of progress with the knee. Managed to get on a V squat actually. So there's out of all the movements, the V squat was a pattern I thought would be one that would come much later down the line, but it's actually remarkably comfortable. So it's just getting the setup. It's just getting used to, having to fight against one leg, wanting to kind of super compensate for all the load and try to split that as best you possibly can. So, but kind of getting a handle on it now. So actually getting a bit of regrowth in the leg, which is good. So yeah, can't complain. But nothing.
Got a good response from was it was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago when you spoke about your no, a week or whatever. Like when you spoke about the injury anyway. Aye, we spoke about the injury anyway. Like got a real good response from that. Obviously, people want to hear what happened to you, and obviously we saw like Josh Rooney and all that getting back on stage, and so it's all these kind of very positive.
It's an interesting one, yeah, because you can find so many people with the same injury, but if you speak to everybody, their recovery story is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's no two people's stories are the same, but there are like small takeaways you can take. So, like I had a chat with Josh after PCA, got a few kind of tips off him through his recovery, and you just have to speak to people and pull what you can. But no, I think at the moment it's like my rec fem is just C solid. So we're getting like a lot of work done on that. As it begins to fire, I can feel my VL begin to fire as well. So for months, I was just focused on VMO, because that's what I see atrophy the most.
Yeah.
And then now I'm at a point where everything I do is really VMO dominant. And trying to get my VL to fire is really difficult. So it's like starting again, building that like mind muscle connection all over again. But it's a process. So we're getting there.
As long as
I think it's absolutely wild, like how quick Branch got back on stage.
Mad.
Like after like seeing like obviously the recovery of yourself and hearing other people, and it's like how the fuck Branch get back on stage and win an Arnold in like almost 6 months.
It's fucking sheer persistence, but it's like I think. I mean, there would have been a lot of pain and discomfort. You obviously pushed through so many fucking hurdles to do that, but it shows you that like it is possible. And it's like I was saying to Andy last week, when Aaron Hudson messaged me, and he was, I think, 9 or 10 months after his surgery, doing squatting 4 plates aside.
Yeah.
No, so I think it literally is a case of you can push through a lot more than you think, and that's literally what I've been doing as well. So, but I think I can see from this perspective how it'd be very easy to be really reserved and really hold back. So it's because there is pain, but it's like a tolerable pain.
That's where I think Branch wouldn't have had that.
Nah,
I think he would have thought, you know what, whatever happens, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do things, and if it fucks up, it fucks up. I just didn't. Just had that mindset.
I've seen people using like you get those lidocaine patches. It's like a local anaesthetic. So it's just like, I just put a fucking lidocaine patch in your knee and it'll go numb and you can't feel it. But yeah, not at that point yet.
That's one way to do it. These other than the umbilical, have you had any big injuries in the time you've been competing?
Touch wood. No, I've had the odd shoulder injury, like rotator cuff flaring up and stuff like that, but nothing massive. I've partially tore hamstrings before doing single ham curls, but nothing like where it's really set us back or anything like that.
Yeah. No, we've said before, it's like I think every guy our size or everyone kind of at our level has got something or has done something of some capacity, and it's one of those ones where it's part of the game. You know what I mean? It's
fucking book.
Yeah, definitely. But it's all about what you said there about Branch, like just not giving a fuck. Like I think we all have that mentality when you go on a hack squat and that. It's just like that came up on JP's forum actually the other day, and someone was like, "What do you think about?" I was just like, well, fucking, if this is the end of me, this is the end of me. Like, so that's the mentality that these kind of guys who train like us and whatnot have, is just if my pec rips off, bicep rips off, my quad goes, whatever, that's just part of the game.
I think if you're doing bodybuilding, you generally don't go in the gym with the intention of like doing, like say the leg press, the hack squat, or whatever it is, and want to aim to get really fucking strong. You'd rather go for like this really slow eccentric, squeeze it and all that shit. I just don't think you have the mental capacity to fucking train properly, or you're scared shitless. There's something wrong. Something's going to go wrong. It's baffling that I just could not go in the gym and think I'm not going to train heavy. I'm not going to go push myself in a set that point. Like, it's fine to get a pump, it feels great, but if you don't physically or mentally even push yourself in some of those sets, like I get no reward out of training.
Yeah. And like, to be fair, like, just to play devil's advocate, as much as I agree with that, it's like, it's okay to be like that. It's okay to come into the gym and be like, I don't want to train like us. it's okay, but just know that is the training that gets you massive at the end of the day. So it's one of those ones. So what we'll do is, Reece, we review shows as well. So we'll have a look at FIBO the past weekend. Let's put Instagram up.
I was there, to be fair, so...
How was it?
Really good, yeah. The show was pretty good. The pre-judging was actually at the event, and then the finals was in a different venue. But that was good, really good.
Class.
Good. There's a guy, Justin, who I competed with in Alicante. I think he got 5th. He done Detroit as well.
Right.
So obviously he's German. When he come out, it was just absolute I'm hoping we get that sort of response at the British Grand Prix. Obviously being at a home show, he just walked out, put his hand to his ear, and honestly, the Germans just erupted. It was must have been a good feeling.
He's only 24, is he not? He's quite young.
Yeah, he's quite young. Yeah,
I've seen him. Yeah.
Right.
I think he had a bit of issues in Detroit compared to FIBO.
I think his gut was a little bit off in Detroit.
Totally wrong and was bloated the fuck, but he applied that for FIBO because he was managing to pull pretty decent vacuums and hold them.
So I was speaking to his physio just before the show, to be honest, and he said he was having a lot of work done on his. I'm not sure how to do it, but it's like vacuuming and massage around your midsection and stuff like that. Which
this week or last weekend, it's fucking painful.
Yeah. It's supposed to be good, it's supposed to work.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But we'll do bodybuilding first. Just for the podcast. Right, so, top 5 there. First, Andrew Jacked, Sass, Sergio, the German boy, and then the Danish boy, or Czech, whatever it is.
That's the one that we're talking about at the venue before.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah.
He's also 6'4". He's fucking gigantic.
Viking.
Aye. Cool. What do you all think of that then?
There's a lot of comments around between Andrew and Sass. So it'd be interesting to hear what it looked like in person from Reece.
Well, Sass was actually winning the pre-judging.
Yeah.
And I think Andrew did actually come back a lot better on the finals, which you can actually see from visuals. He was just so much crispier on the finals by far.
So from what I see,
impressive.
Andrew came out and his size was just fucking ridiculous. Even when he came up by himself, it was just jaw dropping size, but he was off in pre-judging. Just a bit soft from the back, Sass 100% took pre-judging, and then in my opinion, I would have still had Sass winning, and that's not just me being biased because I know Sass. It's I just thought his structure was there. He was dry head to toe from morning all the way through to night. Nighttime he probably got a little bit fuller, but I can understand why Andrew got it.
Honestly, the size of Andrew is absolutely phenomenal. That structure is just insane.
Wild.
Just a genetic phenom.
Yep. Yes.
No, there's not even any words. It's just wild.
Nah.
That structure, the size of his chest, the width of those shoulders, the waist, the abdominal structure, fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking mad.
I wonder how much he weighed.
I don't know. What is he? He's well over 300 pounds on stage, isn't he? About 320.
That's wild, that.
I'll tell you what, though, I actually mentioned this on Fuad's podcast. This is where you can actually see how big Sergio is. Sergio is supposedly quite deceiving. There's a couple of spots with him next to Andrew Jack, and they were very, very similar in size.
It's wild how much Sergio looks like his dad now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
I'm trying to get a
But no, I would definitely. I was just so impressed by Sass.
Oh, there we go. That's better. That's top 4.
And see the size of surgery. He's a big dude.
Wide, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very wide.
I just wonder if he missed the mark. He's just one of those guys I think can always nail a peak quite easy.
It's quite funny though, because I think for a long time he'd done it by himself until he linked up with Sato like years ago, whenever that was. That was quite a long time ago. And I think I saw an interview saying where he was always like, I always over dieted, always did this, always did that, always came in flat, always came in off. And yeah, it's like Reece has been saying, it just takes someone to just kind of tell you, like, it's okay to feed up, it's okay to eat, it's okay to do this. And that's obviously served them massively. So, but yeah, so the top 4 there, I think that's prejudging, isn't it? Yeah.
No, that's finals. That one.
Finals, all right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know it's a tough one. Like you said, like I'm trying not to be biased because Sass is just ridiculous. But it's just like Andrew Jacks is just fucking something else. Like he just looks like just a different species among them. As good as they all are, it's just a different species. I mean, so yeah. No,
Sass's got he's going for Alicante, I think.
Is he?
Yeah. So he'd be against Barus and Crizzo, people like that. But he stood well with them last year as well.
I know. What you say, like I don't think he's got much, unless Crizzo comes in a next level condition. We've not seen him, and Bruce that'd be a good side by side. That
I think he has improved. I think he actually prepped himself last year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So
Crizzo?
No, Sass.
Oh, Sass, he did. Yeah.
I think he didn't do a season last year, but you could tell this year he is definitely in a lot better condition. The peaks are so much better. But he's just like in those shows where as good as Sass is, it's like it's just such a fine line between him and first place. Like that, at one point. I think he even landed like a couple % better if he can. I think it's his.
Yeah, 100%. It's just mad when you see physiques like that not winning. You know what I mean? But when you're up against that, that's just.
Wow.
No, I agree with that top 5. That was a very, very high standard show, and obviously with FIBO just being like I think it is the biggest fitness expo in the world, isn't it? It's bigger than the Olympia and that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge.
To beat that show was pretty good as well. Classic.
Wow.
Petrov, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic was good. I liked, I can't remember his name now, but I know Martin Preston, who got second.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Was he not
Momar or something?
Was he not physique before? Was that other boy?
He was, yeah. He was physique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fucking pretty impressive, to be honest. Mumsy.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the guy I sent you, Andy, who only does one chest exercise a week and it's cable flies.
Fucking hell.
Wait, is this the boy with the mad striations?
He's got wild striations, but the size of his chest, but he literally doesn't train it.
No, you're thinking of Patrick's client, Jack.
That's something.
Yeah, I know you're on the.
Yeah, there you go.
He's some black genetics.
He's moved it open now, that Patrick's client. I can't remember his name now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
he's moved open.
It's about times he kept cheating his fucking height.
Good lineup there. Alex Kent obviously coming fourth, so another good showing for him. Representing the UK as well. So no, I really like Alex's physique.
The guy in fifth, the guy that won his pro card day before, is that?
Couldn't tell you.
Possibly, I'm not sure.
I could be wrong.
To be honest, the guy that won the pro card in the Open, he was pretty good. Like I'm sure he got like 6 or 7.
Oh, I know you're talking. He was good. He was really good.
He was just like, he's one of those guys. You see when like you see them standing in the lineup at the side, you're like, he's won. Don't mean like he needs to pose. You just know he's going to be that good.
100%. I'll try to see if I can find him because he was brilliant. That's a great shot of that Justin.
That's cool.
I see a few comments being like, why has he stuffed his posing trunks?
It's his German schnitzel.
There always has to be one.
Eh?
It's just saying there's always has to be one that puts a shitty comment in.
Oh, it was more than one, mate. It was more than one. No one ever says that about my opposing tongues.
You just tuck it between your legs.
Putting a figure to
Pull it up.
Aye. Where's the amateur overall? Is that him?
No.
No.
Oh,
here he is, Scott.
Is that neat? Aye, that's in there.
Yeah.
Aye, great physique. Very, very good.
He's fucking
24
tall.
as well. It's fucking wild, man. So.
I think it's just his back. He needs to bring up a little bit other than that. Fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed his lat spread. I don't know if it was just the way he was posing it. I don't know if he's about to do it now, but
shallow. There's nothing lower lat.
yeah.
Aye.
Not upper, no lowers. He trains like a.
When he poses it there, it's just a bit.
Yeah. You'll train like a newbie where he's doing like a lot of elbows high instead of getting the elbow into the pocket. Not getting the lats in.
No, but I wish I looked like that at 24.
I know. I mean, 24-year-old, you can't really complain, like, can you?
Aye.
I wish I was 24.
Aye, so FIBO was good. It was a very, very handstanding show. So
What's the next show it's on?
I'll find out.
No.
Legion, I think.
It's not Spain. The what?
Legion in America. That's next open.
Oh, is it? Okay. When's Pittsburgh? Is that 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
So where are we? FIBO
May.
Master show. Pittsburgh, 10th of May.
Tell you what, that's going to be one hell of a show.
And then New York Pro, Cali.
Yeah.
Legion's the 31st. Toronto. It's good. Good amount of shows there as well. It's going to be a big year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Pittsburgh. It's going to be a wild lineup.
Yeah.
I still don't see.
Are you just going for the British Grand Prix, Andy? Are you doing a few?
I'm going to do the French Pro. It's 3 weeks before it. So just wait. I want to do 3. And one of my mates is getting married in America, but he got the date wrong for his wedding. I think I've said that about 3 times on the podcast now. He'd be fucking raging. And so I got the date wrong. So I was going to do the British as my debut. I was then going to do Romania and then Spain, but I'm going to do France, UK, and then I'll do Poland. I think just the way it all kind of times. I don't like doing shows a week apart. And it gives me a wee bit of time to kind of just adjust things if I need to. But that's the 3 I'm doing, and then just see what happens after that. I want to go over to America again. I think like you said, you need to get in front of the American crowd and whatnot. So I think that's going to be the plan in the near future. But I've not really kind of solidified that yet. But definitely those 3. And to be honest, like I wanted to do the British as my pro debut, obviously being British and whatnot. But I think it's kind of nice I'm doing the French first, so that by the time I get to the British, I've kind of dusted off the cobwebs a wee bit, kind of got the first show done.
Aye, confidence and stuff.
Aye, so a wee bit less daunting going into that. So yeah, it's one of those ones. What else is on the agenda?
What shows was it you did last year, Reece?
It was Alicante, Empro. That was my first one.
Yeah.
Portugal, and then Chicago.
Yeah, that was that. I couldn't remember the American one you done.
Yeah.
What was your favourite?
To be honest, I think the pro debut in Alicante, that was probably just because it was the first show and it was like just being backstage with like fucking William Bonac and Sass and like just Chris all them. It was just like, you know, it's like people you look up to when you're a kid and then you're standing next to them about to go on stage with them. But obviously, I got a better placing in Portugal, so that was obviously enjoyable for that reason. But yeah, I was happy with all the placements, to be fair. As long as I placed top 10, I was happy for my first year. So
yeah,
I get the face out in that. Yeah,
I just don't think you're going to beat the production and just the stage of Spain. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's fucking. There's just like you walk out and there's like flamethrowers fucking flying in the air. It's just fucking.
It's a mad venue. It's really good.
Aye,
Yeah.
that's quite cool because obviously we've all done Spain at some point, so that's pretty cool. Like, no, I love that show, and it's you kind of wish that more people or more shows at least had that level of production and kind of the show that we speak about the 21 Arnold all the time. Like that was mad. Like,
I remember watching that. That looked fucking mint.
That wasn't Spain, but it was mad in its own right. Like
it's just monumental, like walking through the archway and just looking out, and there's like, holy fuck, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was just cool. Then be judged by Steve was like, a dream come true. So I just think that for that aspect, it was still one of the best days. It was cool.
I was brilliant. That
I think what was also
I'm just gonna have to.
All of us backstage were all like really chatting, like people we didn't know. Like we're all a group of like 10 guys or even more. I think it was 15, 16 of us. We all knew each other, so it was just a good banter day.
Yeah. No, that was definitely kind of highlight for me, that one. I said to Reece before he came on, the Arnold Classic US was a bit. The production was shit. Like you're on the main stage, but all the lights were up. There was about 50 people in the crowd. No one was cheering. There was no music. I was just kind of like, nah. You know what I mean?
That's such a strange show because for what it is in terms of pro level, see for the amateur one in America, it's nobody does it.
No, it's weird. It used to be the one back in the day.
Like, let's be fucking honest. Sam shouldn't have won his fucking pro card.
Yeah.
The standard was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me hating on him because I think he's fine. Like, I enjoy what he does, but like that in terms of like where you see guys in the UK winning their classic fucking pro card where you smoke them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I just don't see why nobody wants to compete at that show. It's strange.
Yeah, it's very strange, and it's just like I remember when I first started live streaming shows and that, like the Arnold US was always the one. You'd always watch the amateurs first, and there'd be like 25 guys in supers, 25 guys in heavies, and it's just not there anymore. So
I still think the Arnold we done is actually one of the biggest lineups.
Yeah,
I think that's 16 supers.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that, and that was like that was a good show. Like that was really good. I was quite.
There was like
I was fuming when he didn't win.
So was I.
Believe it or not.
A little bastard.
Aye. Sorry, I wrote stuff down to talk about here, but Jack, are you going to Two Blows as well?
Yeah, I'll go down and watch. Yeah, I'll go down and watch. I don't know. I've not heard many people saying they're doing it.
Just the wheeler.
No, the Scottish
one.
Right, sorry.
So it's only the second. It's the second Scottish Two Bros. So last year was the first one, but it was a quiet show. Andy and myself did it. So thinking maybe this year would be busy, but I've not heard of many people talking about it.
No.
What's the venue like? Is it good? Better than me?
Last year was as council as it comes, man. That was pretty. Yeah.
I don't even know what the new venue is.
Eh?
I don't even know what the new venue is.
It's the C7 Conference Centre in the north of Glasgow. I don't even know what it looks like. Never heard of it, but at least it's in Glasgow. Because last year it was in a place called Lochgelly in Fife, and it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's like a farmer's town. The venue was all right, but it was like you must think. What I thought was, see these like IFBB judges coming along to Lochgelly, like, where the fuck are we? This is shit.
Coming out in their cars on bricks, like.
But no, like for our first time show, it was all right, and I spoke to Ian about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's just like kind of just need to get the first one out of the way, learn from it, and we just keep going." But the issue up here is we've got like a fuck ton of shows. There's literally a show every weekend, and some weekends there's two, and it's just I feel it dilutes a lot of the Scottish competitors. So then, if you've got Two Bros as the last show, you've had people who have done what there was shows even before the Granite, like 2 shows before the Granite. Potentially, the Scottish is like what the Scottish Two Bros is potentially like the 8th show of the season or something. Like, so it's a tough one up here. Whereas in England, obviously, you've got a million shows down south as well, but you've got far more people who compete, and the bodybuilding scene is far bigger than that. So, but it's odd how. Don't get me wrong, I've said this before as well. It's the smaller federations. It's good for people who want to dip their feet in bodybuilding. They don't want to stand on stage at the PCA Scottish or the Granite, where the standard is quite high. They want to kind of give bodybuilding a wee bash. So doing like UKUP and all the other federations, smaller federations, is a good thing. At the same time, it just feels far too diluted up here when you've got about 200 people who compete. Maybe not that little, but you know what I mean. There's not a lot. So
I just don't think there's going to be the same people doing those shows that is going to do the Two Bros. I think they know the standard, the level it's at. They're not going to go for it probably.
And as well, it's like if you've got guys who've got the potential to go far, they will go to England or they'll go to Europe to get cards and that. So it's a strange one, but we have got plenty of people up here that are really, really good and do have a lot of potential. So
it's like now I'm going to have to obviously go down to England to do my regional, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't bother me because I'd actually rather have the competition.
Yeah, but it's a strange one. But if I was FMC, name another federation, UKBFF, I'd be like, why the fuck are you doing shows in Scotland? Just bin it, because there's 8 people doing your shows. So just
What was the show that was in the pub?
That was UKBFF, was it not?
Is that what that was? Was it last year?
Last year, yeah. It was like a bowling club.
Yeah.
Like, if I was, I think it was UKBFF, and we could talk shit about them all we want. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed if I had my show there. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So
I also want to fucking do it. Never mind fucking host it.
No, but that's the market just now. Anyway. Now, Reece, we appreciate you coming on, mate, and so we'll get you back on, and we'll obviously be talking about your progress leading into the pro season this year as well. And coming on, mate, it's good to have another high level British pro kind of on the podcast and that, mate. So I appreciate that.
It's going to be you soon. Couple of shows, you'll be out there.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. And yeah, everyone who's watched this far, I appreciate the attention span, and remember to do all the social media stuff, liking and fucking sharing and shit and all that pish, and yeah. And Jack, do you want to give one of your momentous goodbyes?
What's that lady? The bus driver, the lady, the bus driver.
I think Jack can start doing some prayers when we're leaving.
I know. That's next week.
Right. Cheers, guys.
Right. See ya.
Cheers.
See you later. Thank you.